The theme for the night was celebrating a caring and giving spirit, which was evidenced not only by our honorees, but also by our attendees. We talked about how we take care of each other in Barberton, and that's what we're doing tonight. We're still celebrating, we're still taking care of each other, just differently. My great hope is that we can continue to do so and meet in person for our annual dinner in 2022. Now it's my pleasure to welcome Josh Gordon, the chair of our board of directors, to bring his greetings. Josh?
Thank you, Suzanne. Thank you very much. So the Barberton Community Foundation has been part of the Magic City for 25 years now. And reflecting on that milestone has helped us as a board re-engage with the roots of how the organization came into existence. And I want to share a little bit about that briefly. So Barberton Citizens Hospital, as many of you know, was sold for a little over $86 million in 1996. And the proceeds then were transferred to a newly created Barberton Community Foundation for the express purpose of taking the interest earned from that investment of those funds and using it to make grants in support of the Barberton community, the city, and the schools forever in perpetuity. So the first board of directors convened to approve its very first grant on February 2nd, 1997. That was a $32 million necessary to build the new Barberton High School. But the grant approval from the board was not enough to start the project of building a new high school. This grant was contingent on the residents of Barberton approving a $32 million bond issue. If the bond issue were approved, the citizens would not be taxed to build the new school. And as you probably know, this is what normally happens when a district needs a new building. But in Barberton, it was different. Because of the foundation, no property taxes from residents would be used for the project. Instead, the Barberton Community Foundation would pay the annual debt service on the bonds to make the project a reality. The bond issue passed, and the foundation has ultimately saved taxpayers $58 million in real estate taxes. So taxpayers have saved a lot of money and also benefited from a wonderful building in the high school that we all feel proud of. So tonight we are paying our last payment on the high school project with a check worth over $2 million. Completing those payments on this debt service has not been easy. The original endowment that was used to start the foundation was significantly impacted by the financial crisis of 2008. In fact, we're still feeling those effects. What we were able to grant and provide in terms of scholarships, though, has influenced the financial performance, is influenced by the financial performance of our investments. In particular, our really good financial advisors and the finance committee of our board, who meets routinely, they've worked really hard over the past decade to rebuild our financial strength. And this is only possible through great advisors, a wonderful staff, and a very disciplined board. And these efforts must remain in order for us to preserve this institution and continue to serve the residents forever. So for tonight, as we celebrate the conclusion of the biggest project in the history of the foundation, we must begin the work of finding the next aspects of our community in need of support. And as a board and staff, we are focused on identifying our greatest needs, especially in the areas of economic development and education. So with careful planning and big hearts, those who have served the foundation have enabled over $105 million in grants to nonprofits. And those nonprofits work to benefit the residents of Barberton. And we've also provided over $4.4 million in scholarships. So after 25 years, it feels really good to say this: the Barberton Community Foundation is just getting started. It has been my honor to serve on this board for nearly 8 full years and as board chair for the past year. And as my term as board chair ends in December, I'm more confident than ever that the Barberton Community Foundation is poised to deliver meaningful impact for all Barberton residents in the years ahead. And so as we turn our eyes and gaze over to the game changers that work so hard in our community, it's my pleasure to introduce to you Reverend Vic Myers, who is going to come to the podium here and provide tonight's invocation. Vic?
And so for a moment, we offer our prayers. Gracious God, on this chilly autumn eve, you prod us to remember there is a whole lot to be thankful for. if we would take the time to look. So we've looked, and behold, we're thankful for the many blessings of the day past and the promise of rest that the coming night affords. Thanksgiving as well for Lisa, the mother of Mumfest. We truly applaud her and her efforts in planning and organizing the Mumfest dazzling carpet of 1 million plus colorful blooms. As a result, dear Lord, Lisa encouraged many of us to stand in awe at the beauty of your marvelous creation, for which we uttered our thanks for lo these past 30 years. As a community, we also give hearty thanks for Summa Health System, its campus here in Barberton. Under the leadership of Dr. Hughes, its medical personnel and support staff, it's provided quality health care. Named a top hospital for its outstanding quality, Summa Barberton excels in a number of medical specialties, including its response to COVID-19. We truly are blessed because of Summa Barberton's service and compassion and the way in which it enhances the quality of life here in town. With a thankful spirit, O Lord, we honor Barberton City Schools. For years, it's provided quality lifelong learning and been a key part of Barberton's identity in both education and athletics. With Jeff Ramnitz's teachers and support staff, the district adapted to the reality of COVID-19 and continued to provide quality education for all its students. Truly, our spirits rejoice because of the many ways, both large and small, the schools have made an impact on our young people, on our town. Yes, Lord, we've so much to be thankful for: family and friends, freedom, food, foundation. Now we pray only that you bless us with your loving spirit. And as we break bread, may we renew our commitment to make Barberstown an even better place to work, play, and nurture future generations. Our prayer ends here. We're hungry and we look forward to honoring those who are game changers. So with thanksgiving for the food and the gift of life, we, your people, say, Amen.
Thank you, Reverend Myers, for that thoughtful prayer. I'm so glad to see many friends and colleagues here tonight. It's a special night, one in which we celebrate our community and its game changers in a virtual way. So thank you for being with us. As you know, each year, the Barberton Community Foundation honors very special people as game changers. We also honor organizations as well. The individuals and organizations that are being recognized tonight share many of the same characteristics like leadership and vision, big picture thinking, a willingness to make a difference with their time, their talent, their energy, and they work collaboratively to make our community a better place to live, work, raise a family, and as Reverend Myers says, to nurture future generations. And they're always looking to raise the bar. But before we get to our headliners tonight, our game changers, I'd like to recognize our sponsors for this event. First, to our OC Barber sponsor, the Summa Health System Barberton campus, our community champion. We had one who was anonymous, our Community Action Akron Summit, Helen Scott Realty, KeyBank, Lake Anna, YMCA, Legacy Strategic Asset Management, Sally and Roger Reed, Christine Boone Cusimano and Scott Reed, SA Communal Company Incorporated, Stewart's Caring Place, and our hometown heroes, our Akron Metropolitan Housing Authority, Access Point and Community Health, Bruton Chisnell Partners, Full Spectrum Marketing, Tom and Kathy Harnden, Ignite Brewing Company, Pettit Auto Wash, PNC Bank, Raymond James Financial, Denny Little, Russ and Deb Schreiner, Sikich, Doug Weintraub, and Stark State University. We also have many, many virtual sponsors tonight. Those are listed on the screen and they're also listed in your program. So thank you all. Tonight, we'll celebrate an individual and two organizations, who've worked tirelessly on behalf of the community and the causes they care about. So let's get started. Our introductions to our game changers have been pre-recorded, and Lisa McLean, our first game changer, will be introduced by Bill Allenbach.
Over 30 years ago, a young lady phoned to interview me for a job in the fledgling Barberton beautification program. I'll always remember that call because also on the call was the then chairman of the new beautification program. He asked me if I knew anything about plants. I thought, well, okay, they don't know me. So I invited them to come over to my home and take a look at the plants around the landscaping that I did around the house. So I must have passed the test because I got the job, and this became a long and gratifying relationship with Lisa. In 1991, Mayor Art Bradnick and the Health Commissioner Joe Harrison approached me, said they wanted to do something extra special to celebrate the city's centennial. And I suggested a Mum Festival. Mumfest was born. It was only supposed to be a one-time affair, but seemed to set off a spark in the city, and the mayor and Joe said, keep going. And in doing so, it changed the negative opinion about the city and the rust bucket jokes that one heard about Barberton. Stop and think. You don't hear much about that anymore, do you? So I focused on the garden, and all other aspects of it were handled by Lisa. So what are those aspects that have to be handled? Well, one of them was contacting and collecting fees for over 200 vendors, crafters, and food concessions people. Finding and handling over 150 volunteers, finding talent and arranging entertainment, arranging the 2-day event and advertising it to let people know what they could come and see. So those are just a few of the details that had to be handled. But enough talk, let me introduce this year's winner of the Game Changer Award, Lisa McLean.
I'm Lisa McLean. I hired into the city in 1984 into the Barberton Health Department. So in 1987, the health commissioner suggested that we start a beautification program to add to our litter prevention efforts. And that was the first year that we planted a couple flower gardens in town. Then in 1991, in the city's centennial year, we were looking to do something special. And we wanted to do something with flowers. So that was the year that the Mum Festival was created, and it really was to have been a one-year event just for the city's birthday. So it takes nearly 200 volunteers just Mumfest weekend. And there is no way that the festival could have grown to where it is today without that kind of support and those wonderful people involved. Everybody thought initially that the pandemic would be over in a shorter period of time and that we would be fine by fall, and then we would have this wonderful festival and everything could be normal. But as one month drew into another month, that was not happening. So what we did not have the festival per se, but we wanted to give the community something of beauty. So we planted the Mum Gardens. At least it gave people a place to come to take photographs with. A city provides all kinds of services for people, but one of the important services that we need to provide is maybe call it more of a mental health service, so that there's something beautiful and somewhere that they can go and have a good time and invite others to appreciate. Knowing how much people appreciate a place to come with their families, that brought great joy and made all of the work worth it that went into a big event. O.C. Barber had 20 acres of greenhouses at one time, and he hired 2 brothers to manage those greenhouses. And those 2 men were Ira and Menno Yoder. And when Barber died in 1920, the 2 brothers bought his greenhouses and established Yoder Brothers here. Yoder Brothers grew vegetables, they grew flowers, but they were best known for chrysanthemums. So they started with cut mums, which we know today as football mums, and they added potted mums, and then garden mums. And the garden mum is what you see in the mum gardens today. To me, a game changer creates significant change in either how something is done or how something is thought about. First, I want to thank our partners throughout the years. Yoder Brothers, now Eris Horticulture, the Barberton Community Foundation, of course, helped us take this festival to a whole nother level. I also want to thank a supportive community, whether it was individuals who gave $25 or $100 or volunteered. It wouldn't have been possible without any of them. And then I want to thank the Barberton Mum Festival Planning Committee. For the Mum Festival, I hope that it grows and continues for years to come, and that story of the chrysanthemum in Barberton, Ohio continues to be told, because it's a unique story and it's something of which all of us can be proud.
Thank you, Bill, and thank you to the Barberton Community Foundation for this special recognition. It is a privilege and an honor to accept this award this evening. And I also want to offer congratulations to the Barberton City Schools and Summa Health Barberton. The Barberton Beautification Program started in 1987 with one $500 donation. The program grew and evolved because the Barberton community embraced it, invested in it, and made it their own. I first want to thank our partners. These partnerships helped us accomplish together what we could not accomplish alone. First, the Barberton Community Foundation. Congratulations on your 25th anniversary year. Your valuable partnership helped us improve the quality of life of Barberton's residents by making our public spaces more vibrant and appealing. From flowers to Christmas lights, your investment in our efforts made all the difference. I also want to recognize Eris Horticulture. Thank you for lending your expertise and for donating over 500,000 mum cuttings. And thank you also for helping us share your unique story of the chrysanthemum and its place in the fabric of Barberton's rich history. Thank you to our donors. Financial support for the program came from civic organizations, churches, city government, businesses, schools, and individuals. Every time we asked for help, the Barberton community always came through. Thank you to our volunteers who gave so generously of their time and efforts. And I want to express special gratitude to the Mum Festival Planning Committee, all of whom deserve to share in this award. I could not be prouder of a group of people who gave so much energy, commitment, and passion in support of the Mum Festival. I want to thank my family and my coworkers for their support. And I want to recognize Brian Kaufman for his gift of creativity in horticulture design in creating and caring for the gardens. Bill Allenbach, thank you for nominating me for this award. And finally, I want to thank the Barberton community for giving me the opportunity to share a part of your story, a story of beauty and of grace. Thank you all so much.
So on behalf of the Barberton Community Foundation, we'd like to give you this commemorative Don Drum plate for your Game Changer Award.
As well as a proclamation from our congressperson, Tavia Golansky, honoring the efforts that you've made to keep the program alive and thriving.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Who was that from?
And for our next game changer, it is being introduced by Mr. Tom Harnden, and accepting the Game Changer Award will be Dr. Michael Hughes from the SUMA Barberton campus.
It is my privilege and honor to introduce SUMA Barberton Hospital as one of the Barberton Community Foundation's 2021 Game Changer Award recipients, and to also say thank you to all the medical and support staff that have made this award a reality. You know, the hospital has been a fixture in this community since 1915, when it was first incorporated with initial capitalization of only $75,000, and has meant a lot to this community, whether it's because of the millions of dollars of charity care which it provides every year, or the fact that it's the city's largest employer, or because of the care it's provided to you or your family members. The past 20 months have impacted all of us to a large extent. SUMA Barberton Hospital and its first responders have been at the forefront of the effort to address the COVID pandemic. Whether it's the handling of the initial influx of COVID-19 patients, testing us for the virus, or administering the COVID-19 vaccine, the hospital has been there for all of us. To say that COVID was hard on our first responders would be a huge understatement. But COVID has also driven some changes in healthcare, such as learning how to leverage telemedicine and how to expand care delivery into the homes and institutions. For all that SUMA Barberton, its medical personnel and support staff have done in the past, for what it means to this community, and for its response to the COVID pandemic, we thank you and congratulate you on being a 2021 Game Changer awardee.
My name is Dr. George Elodi. I am the hospitalist medical director. I don't think that we foresaw it being how it was going to be. There was one, and she came in and she was, COVID positive, wasn't vaccinated. She's like, "Are you going to help me get out of this hospital?" She looks at me. She tells me, am I going to get out of here? And I was like, "I'm going to do my best. That's all I can promise you. I promise you I'll do my best." So she goes from being on 5 liters to going home. We are humans. 7.5 billion people on Earth. It's a big place. But every little bit, contributes to the overall community.
Well, my name's TJ DeAngelis. I am Dr. Hughes' Vice President for Barberton Hospital. What community means to me is it's one of my core values. My first core value is family, the second one is my faith, and the third is community. And it's one of the reasons why I work at SUMA, because it's a core value at this organization. Our nurses, they're stretched extremely thin. We don't have enough beds for the patients. And if you look at the endemic and the trends, that's going to continue. And that's probably one of the things I'm most proud of. My nurses stepping up, and truly they are healthcare heroes. No matter what's coming in those doors, we got to take care of them. And there's been times where family is not allowed to see their loved ones. So they're there sitting, holding their hands. They go through some of the heartbreaks, some of the success stories, and they bear all that. It's just been extremely difficult, both emotionally and physically, for them in this building. And I'm just honored to be a part of their group. I believe the drive is deep down. We all want to do what's best for our patients.
My name is Tiffany Dillon, and I'm the unit director of 4 South. So we're a 24-bed unit. During the height of COVID, we went up to 29 beds. We take care of COVID patients and med-surg patients. So it's a busy floor. We have people that are getting very sick very fast. So we really had to look at how we're taking care of patients and kind of think outside the box, how we pass meds, how we take care of them every day, and just really work together as a team. I just really appreciate the community of Barberton. I've been with them my whole life. We walked around Lake Anna my whole life. My family lived around here, and I just love this community, and I hope that they know that we're here to support them and that we're here for them. We try to treat all of our patients like they're part of our family, and we try and do that with our community. I would like my staff to get a chance to breathe and just let them. Sorry.
So my name is Michael Hughes. I'm an interventional cardiologist by training. I'm currently the president of the Cinema Barberton campus. So to be a game changer is an honor. It's also a responsibility to maintain that and to be a leader, to be an integral part of moving a community, an organization, a team forward. So that's what game changer means to me. We have worked collaboratively and are continue to work collaboratively to try to figure out ways to address some of the social determinants of health. In the foundation, you know, that they're kind of the facilitator or the person that can really help instigate a lot of these things, but we all have to come together as a community and we all have to be a part of it. If you take care of that person in front of you as if it was your family member, you'll never have to worry that you did the right thing. And I believe that with all my heart. It's one patient, one person at a time. We treat each other like family, we'll get through this because family takes care of each other.
Thank you. And I want to say a very special thank you to the Barberton Community Foundation, your board of directors, and especially to Mr. Tom Harden for this recognition. You know, I get choked up when I saw that video. There's a lot of emotion that goes into every day within the 4 walls of Barberton Hospital. And it's a tough job. We've got a great group of kids that work there. You know, our doctors, you saw one of them on that video, the nursing staff, you saw Tiffany. No one can watch her and not feel moved by what goes on day in and day out. And they are truly, you know, the staff that you saw in that video, our lab personnel, the environmental service folks, our dietary folks. It's a small little city within that 4 walls that makes it possible for us in our community to have a top-notch healthcare facility to be able to provide for this community. And this partnership with Barberton Community Foundation goes back, as you heard in the introduction, 25 years, and it has grown even much closer here as we've worked through this pandemic together. And I can't tell you how much I appreciate the support, the efforts, just the goodwill that people, by, calling out some of the heroes that in our midst that work within those four walls. It really means an awful lot, more than you ever know. And I really specifically want to call out my administrative partners, and especially TJ, who you met there on the video briefly. TJ and I have worked together. This is our third time in 3 different venues of care that we've worked together. And each time it's been a growing experience, I think, for me personally, and I think for TJ as well. But I have to tell you a little something about me. When I joined Summa Health Medical Group back in 2007, there was a need in Barberton for an interventional cardiologist. And one of the folks who I saw on here was instrumental, Mr. David Stevens, of getting me to come to Barberton. And I moved my practice from Akron down here. It's the best decision I ever made in my life, because if you picked up my hometown of Anderson, South Carolina, and set it down in Northeast Ohio, it would be Barberton. And to be able to give back to that socioeconomic and that type of place, similar to what I left when I moved to Northeast Ohio, I can't tell you how professionally satisfying that's been. It truly is a labor of love. And I love being here, and I love what we do at Barberton Hospital. And it's just a neat place to work and a neat place to be. So I just want to say thank you to everyone that made this possible. And I can't go without calling out our first responders, because they really have been instrumental in helping us care for the patients during this COVID pandemic, and everyone else too. So thank you all, and I really appreciate this recognition.
So on behalf of our Board of Directors and staff, we'd like to present you with the 2021 Game Changer Award.
Thank you. Thank you.
And on behalf of State Representative Tavia Galansky, who I accidentally promoted a few minutes ago to the federal level, here is a proclamation honoring the amazing efforts of the Barberton Summa Health Campus as a 2021 Game Changer. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Hughes and Summa Health Barberton Campus. Our next Game Changer is Barberton City Schools, with an introduction from our own Josh Gordon. I will note, however, that this video does contain footage prior to and after the required mask period, so don't be alarmed. We made sure everyone was very, very safe.
My name is Josh Gordon. I'm the Barberton Community Foundation Chair for the Board of Directors this year. For some, it may seem obvious that the 25th year of the Barberton Community Foundation is the natural year for the city's school district to win the Game Changer Award. After all, the largest project the foundation has ever undertaken is funding the construction of the Barberton High School. But the culmination of this massive effort of completing the payment for this building is not why the district is being recognized for its efforts in 2020. Barberton Schools received multiple nominations for this distinction from different members of the community for its remarkable approach to the unprecedented event of a global pandemic and healthcare crisis with COVID-19. This is a moment where real leaders step up, and the administrative staff, led by Superintendent Jeff Ramnitz and Assistant Superintendent Jason Andrus, as well as every building principal from the high school to the preschool, did a wonderful job building a plan for how to maintain learning safely and then clearly communicating what was required of that plan and everyone who took part in it for it to be a success. When many districts across the state held classes 100% remote, Barberton Schools again found a way to be different in a positive way, offering both remote and in-person instruction. The district's response was so thorough and well executed that Governor DeWine even invited Superintendent Ramnitz on his 2 p.m. news conference in 2020 so that the Barberton way of doing things could be held up as an example for how to do it right, an example that other districts did follow. Teachers had to adjust completely to a new way to work. In addition to the challenges of communicating curriculum and preparing students for testing, teachers became experts in sanitizing their classrooms and working through breaks since students were safest by staying in the classroom all day, to cleaning up after lunch even when they didn't have lunch duty, and supporting young people through some of the most emotionally taxing times in the students' lives, but in all of our lives. Teachers are amazing, and the teachers of Barberton schools were at their best in 2020 when our community was dealing with the most uncertainty. I'd also like to recognize the teachers' aides, counselors, building staff, cafeteria workers, bus drivers, and custodians. These unsung heroes stepped up to protect students at the times when our understanding of how to manage this virus were most uncertain. Their courage was an inspiration to us all. While COVID-19 has changed the game for many, Barberton schools adapted and overcame its many challenges. Thank you for being Barberton strong. Please join me in celebrating this amazing accomplishment by everyone who wears a Barberton City School District badge, because they are the 2021 Barberton Community Foundation Game Changer.
Hi, my name is Jeff Ramnitz. I'm the superintendent of Barberton City Schools. Since the beginning, it's, this is something that nobody had prepared for. Just like every other school district, there's been 1,000 challenges, but what I'm most proud of is the Barberton City Schools has been ahead of the game. We kind of contemplated that schools were going to be shut down, and even before it started, we had 20 days of work ready for our kids to take home. And I had superintendents from other districts calling me, asking me if we knew something that they didn't know. And I said, no, I don't, but I like to be prepared. I'm an old offensive line coach, and I'm always prepared. Our teachers just, as far as I'm concerned, they knocked it out last year, whether they taught in person or whether they taught online. Sometimes when the students had to quarantine, we allowed those students who were quarantined that had been coming in the schools to go online and watch the classes that were taking place. We taped classes for students who had missed things so they could go back and rewatch. The Barberton City Schools teachers did an amazing job just stepping up and making a very bad and tough situation amazing for our students. Not just our teaching staff, custodians, maintenance, food service. When we did go full remote, we had to figure out how to feed all of our students. So I would say from March until May, we made food, we packed it up, we put it in buses, we took it all over the city, and we passed out about 250,000 breakfasts and lunches from March to May, which was amazing. And here's the thing: is our bus drivers were involved, our teachers were packing. It was amazing, the team effort that took place in Barberton. I've always known Barberton as a special place, but the last 20 months really proved it to me that when there's a crisis, when things, our backs up are against the wall, this staff steps up and does what needs to be done. And they're just amazing. I can't say enough about them. Another group that did an amazing job were our parents and our students. Our students came in, they were like soldiers. They wore their masks, they did what they needed to do. The students who were home online did what they needed to do. So it was a combined effort, staff, students, and parents. And I want to thank the community, because the community, anytime, people were checking in constantly. What do you need? How can we help? Because they knew that we were struggling. And yes, we did knock it out and we did a great job, but it was tough. And it still continues to be tough today. Probably this year is a little bit tougher than it was last year. But again, we are ahead of the game. We are doing what's best for students. And I'm very proud of our efforts, not only the last 20 months, but as we move forward through this year. We're trying to make this year as normal as possible for our students, because they've really struggled over the last 20 months. I think everyone has. Adults have struggled over the last 20 months. Could you imagine children, what they've gone through? And we're starting to see some of those behaviors pop out, but we have the resources to help those students. After the last 20 months, there's nothing the Barberton City Schools can't do, in my eyes. And with all the support from the community, we will get through this and we will come out stronger than we were before. just remember, we are all Magics, and we will always be Barberton strong, and I'm going to give you the eye. All right?
Yes. Yes.
Ready?
Yes.
Are we filming?
We are filming.
And a 1, and a 2, and a 3. Wonderful, wonderful.
Yes, please don't ask me where those bubbles came from. And I did say amazing 42 times during that video, but the Barberton City Schools are amazing and all the people in it. First, I want to thank everyone for allowing me to accept this award on behalf of the Barberton City Schools. It is truly an honor. I would like to recognize everyone at the Barberton City Schools for their hard work during the last 20-some months and all the individuals who have worked together to help us get through this difficult time. When most other schools districts struggled, we have not, and that's because of all of you. This is not saying it hasn't been difficult. It's been extremely difficult and continues to be difficult. There is no other community that measures up to Barberton when it comes to taking care of our students, families, and getting the job done. I'm very proud to be part of this school district and community. I would like to thank and recognize the following groups for their hard work and leadership. First, the entire Barberton community. The Barberton Community Foundation and Kate DeAngelis and the video crew. You guys were amazing. Those are amazing videos. Our Board of Education, our AFSCME group, custodians, maintenance, secretaries, food service, aides. Our OPSI group, bus drivers, bus aides, mechanics, and transportation, and the transportation department. Our BEA group, teachers, counselors, tutors, psychologists, and school nurses. Our students and parents. The central office support staff, administrators, supervisors, and building principals. Our school resource officers, the city of Barberton, the mayor, the city council, the Barberton police and fire departments, our social emotional partners and our after school partners, and all substitutes or those who will be substitutes. If you have a CDL, please come see me. I would like to thank everyone mentions family as well. They have been through this alongside of us and deserve thanks and recognition. So please thank your families. Most of all, I would like to thank Mary Lou Woodford. She has been the rock keeping us all together through this whole period. Plus, as most of you are aware, putting up with me is a full-time job as well. So thank you, Mary Lou. I wish I had a time to thank each person and name each person. Every one of you have been a game changer in my life. Thank you.
So on behalf of the staff and board of the Barberton Community Foundation, congratulations on being a 2021 game changer.
Thank you very much.
You're
And on
welcome.
behalf of State Representative Tavia Galansky, a proclamation honoring Barberton City Schools as a 2021 game changer.
Thank you.
And I think we have one more piece of
I will
business
take
too,
This
in this.
and trade.
So there's one more big piece of business
Yes.
that we need to take care of since we're all here together. And we want to celebrate a really big milestone from the foundation standpoint, but also a promise kept, which was, challenging as we outlined at the beginning. But this is literally a big check.
So tonight, the Barberton Community Foundation is pleased to present the last payment on the high school debt for $2,168,400 as the final payment for the Barberton High School, which is a jewel in this city. So thank you, Jeff, for all you do.
Thank you. On behalf of the Barberton City Schools and the Barberton High School, we are grateful for the support of the Barberton Community Foundation and the many people who made this possible. Thank you on behalf of the students, the staff, the teachers, the board, and our community. And can I endorse this right
Yes.
now?
Yeah, well, be safe getting home. Good luck finding an ATM
All right.
that can take that check. Thanks very much. We do have one more piece of business too with all of you at home. So it's a celebration. It's our 25th year, as you may have heard us mention a couple of hundred times. And we're excited about that. And in your bags, if you were able to come get your bag here from the foundation, you will find a cupcake or two, and you'll also find a birthday candle. And our hope is that now it's time for dessert. So you take the cupcake out, and we're going to have a little demonstration from our own Kim Miller. And she's going to show you exactly the process and operation for putting a candle in a cupcake and lighting it with, of course, diamond matches. from the Diamond Match Party Center, I might add, and placing them in these cupcakes provided by Leach's Meats and Sweets. So Kim showed us how to do it. We hope you all do it too. Send us your pictures. We want to see them. Send us on Facebook or email us. And now, Mrs. Barber's East Elementary class singing Happy Birthday.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Barberton Foundation. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you, Josh. What a marvelous celebration. They all had on their purple shirts. That was wonderful. And thank you all for being a part of this. I know it's a little different this year, but thank you. My mother's favorite expression is count your blessings. And tonight I'm really counting mine. I serve an organization that continues to make an impact and is poised to strategically work towards our mission of strengthening the Barberton community for current and future generations by providing leadership, fostering collaboration, and creating a legacy of giving to do good. I also serve a board of directors who are focused on impact and who are committed to improving the quality of life for Barberton residents today and in the future. They are keenly aware of our needs to manage our resources so that we can positively impact the lives of Barbertonians forever. This means that even as the last payment towards a high school debt is paid, we have to deliberately plan our future by concentrating on making an impact in this community we serve. The staff and I are also blessed to serve many, many donors who continue to contribute to our funds that provide scholarships to Barberton students and teachers, funds that provide shoes and clothes and food, even services for our pets, funds that help people in crisis or people in need or students who need a little extra care. I'd like to mention one fund in particular, a brand new fund. It's called the Celebrate Barberton Fund. This is going to be a game changer for our city. This new fund, started by a former game changer herself, Deb Schreiner, and her husband, Russ, will celebrate our neighborhoods. The goal is to provide grants to neighborhoods in each of our 6 wards and to help start a long-term program between the City of Barberton and the Barberton Community Foundation to engage residents, encourage and increase community spirit, and celebrate our neighborhoods. We'll do this through an application process, and we'll be working with each ward representative to develop these neighborhood programs. They could be things like sponsoring a neighborhood event, cleaning up part of a neighborhood, bringing neighbors together to talk about issues and concerns, or organizing concerts in local parks. The Celebrate Barberton Fund will provide small grants to foster partnerships between the city and its neighborhoods each year. We're so very excited to celebrate this new fund. It really is going to be a Celebrate Barberton event. There's more to come on this new initiative. If you'd like to help, give me a call, or you can make a gift on our website, but you'll be hearing more about it. Being a part of this community is a blessing in itself, and having donors who want to see the community and its neighborhoods thrive is just simply wonderful. I've worked with many communities, but Barberton is special, as Dr. Hughes said. Not only is it one of a very few small towns in Ohio with a significant foundation, but it has an enormous sense of pride, purple pride. We, staff and board, count as a blessing the opportunity to work with our grant partners who serve this proud and strong community. Many of our grant partners are with us tonight, and I thank you for joining us. By partnering with the nonprofits who are making a difference in the lives of so many people in Barberton, we feel that our work is magnified, and for that we're thankful. A nonprofit leader and another nonprofit were our nonprofits were our game changers last year. We weren't able to formally recognize them last year, but I'd like to take this opportunity to thank our 2020 individual honoree, Dorothy Somerville, who serves the Barberton Area Community Ministries, and our organizational honoree, the Barberton Area JCs, for their work in our community. In conclusion, I really do feel blessed tonight. First, for our board, who are a very engaged group of people committed to building a better Barberton. And I'd like to do something now that we have this Zoom thing zooming. If you're a member of our current board of directors, would you please wave? And can we see everybody on the screens? Can we see everybody on the screens on the Zoom call waving? I'm also so proud of our staff, Kate DeAngelis, Brett Fogel, Carrie Herman, Ted Hernkane, Kim Miller, and Carrie Sattler. Would you wave? Now the waving continues as I do my thanks. I'd also like to ask any past BCF board members to wave and keep waving. We also have a special group of community people called Friends of the Foundation. They're a valuable connection between the foundation and the community, and we appreciate their commitment. If you're a current or past friend of the foundation, wave and please wave. If you're a grant partner, a donor, a supporter, please wave. If you're supporting one of our game changers tonight, please wave. And on that final wave, I'll say thank you, good night, and God bless.